Ladies and gentlemen, Arthur B. Robinson. Dr. Robinson is the president and research professor of the Oregon Institute of Science and Medicine. He is a massive proponent of revolutionizing 21st century medicine with consumer-based diagnostics and the internet. This is so revolutionary that this could be considered a disruptive technology paradigm, but in fact, it's a call to help humankind and people that need quick access to medical diagnostics that are affordable in a way that hasn't been conceived before. It is my honor and my pleasure to welcome Dr. Robinson to its Rainmaking time. Welcome, sir.
Hi, I'm happy to be with you.
Talk a little bit about metabolic profiling.
The scientists call it metabolomics now. We started it my colleagues and I founded the field in the 1970s. Then we called it metabolic profiling. In any case, it involves a great technological advance over the things people are familiar with. You give a urine sample or a blood sample to a doctor, and he sends it out, and about 20 things are measured. About the same things have been measured for 50 years. But in fact, technology today makes it possible to measure thousands of substances in your blood and urine and to give you an enormous amount of information back about your health, current, future health. So metabolomics is that. It's the study of the metabolism of human beings based on the measurement of thousands of compounds that keep them alive, that are the mechanism of life. The technological advances in measurement of substances in human urine and blood has paralleled a tremendous advance in computer technology and in human communications. And it's now possible to put the two together, and not only metabolomics, but all kinds of other technologies for measuring human health, put the two together and to make a seminal advance in human well-being. I might illustrate it in this way. Long ago, people made investments by looking at a ticker tape. Remember, they may have seen pictures of these little glass globes and this little ticker tape, this paper thing shot out, and financiers sat there looking at the ticker tape and trying to figure out how they could optimize their investments. Today, there is, of course, a vast computer network, worldwide communications network, in which thousands and thousands of sources of economic information are available, funneling huge amounts of information to people so that they can optimize their economic well-being. It's made possible by the computers, the internet, and technological advances which enable them to get lots of information about markets. And it is good for people to have the knowledge that will improve their financial well-being. Well, the same sort of revolutionary change between the ticker tape and what we have today in the investment world is possible in the health world. And a person's health is actually more important to him than his money. It is possible now today to get huge amounts of information about your health and to have the advantages of analysis of this information by people all over the world and communicate with smart people all over the earth that can help you to interpret your information and guide you. All we need to do is to couple the technology to the internet and make the changes in our medical system that will permit this.
This has, in effect, been around since the 1970s, I read in your PDF introduction. What you're talking about, if I understand it correctly, is the miniaturization of analytical devices, advancing and utilizing computers, where it puts the ability to analyze and diagnose in the, quote, patient's domain. Is that correct or incorrect?
Yes, part of the technology is miniaturization. Miniaturization makes it possible to collect data in real time on the people without going elsewhere. And it also, so technological advance is making possible computer peripherals in which you would monitor your own health. But it also, the whole thing even involves things which are so big that you still have to go somewhere else, like the MRI and CAT scans. So suppose you had a device on your table that looked like a laser printer, but it measured 1,000 things in your breath as you sat at the computer and gave you information about your health. That would be useful. Now, most people using this wouldn't be skilled enough to interpret that information, but businesses would spring up all over the world competing to give you the best information about the breath analysis that is being done by your computer as you sit there. Similarly, you might be walking through a shopping center and see a business which had CAT scanners or MRI or an MRI machine, these wonderful machines that can do three-dimensional scanning of human beings. And maybe you'd stop there and give them $50, and they give you back a DVD of your scan, and you'd go home, play that into the internet, and go out there searching for companies that would interpret it for you and tell you about anything that you needed to know. Right now, of course, your doctor would have to order this scan based on worry about your health so great that you're going to spend the thousands of dollars that it would take. And then the interpretation is just by whatever man in a white coat happens to be standing there. Instead, it should cost $50, and you should have hundreds of options on the internet to have interpreters who are the best in the world based on their record, which would also be published. So whether it's a miniaturized device measuring your heartbeat in real time, or a thing that looks like a laser printer that would sit on your desk and measure your breath as you sat there and tell you things about your metabolism, or large machines from which you would get the information, the main idea is that we have the technology, both computer technology and analytical technology now, to put people in the position of diagnosing and evaluating and manipulating their own health. Previous to this time, this was all as a part of the medical monopoly. But that monopoly now should fall, and the substitution of it will be something much better in which a tremendous advance in human health would be possible.
It's very much reminds me of all the infrastructure in many industries, aside from the medical industry, reflects the paradigm operating inside it and reflects the investment in the paradigm, which manifests as the structure.
Yeah.
And so what you're really talking about is kind of taking back one's power almost and putting the power back in the people who, there's even some people who want to get rid of the Hippocratic Oath. Are you aware of that?
Oh, yes.
That they think should be rendered useless or non-existent. And so there's a lot of people who think it's unnecessary and it doesn't apply anymore.
Yeah, well, the medical profession, you see, is sort of unique. They not only provide a service, but they evaluate their own service. All the diagnostics is in the hands of the people providing the service instead of the people receiving it. Now we can put the evaluation of the service in the hands of the private individual and improve that evaluation 1,000-fold. And the medical profession should be in the position of competing for therapeutic measures. We have this national debate going on now about whether to nationalize our medical system, which is costing almost 20% of our national economy. But what we're talking about nationalizing is a system that's 50 years out of date and is costing us huge amounts of money because it has all kinds of people associated with it that just aren't needed. So we could reduce the cost of medicine by several-fold and increase its quality by 100-fold by just using the technology around us, but that does involve smashing the current paradigm and replacing it with something better.
What do you think about, even the concept of smashing the existing paradigm is a disruptive, but also received as disruptive. And even if something that's in place, that's at a monstrous level in terms of a stronghold and strength, what about running a parallel universe of activity side by side?
Well, that's of course what should be done. No one should have the power to diminish anyone's access to current medical care.